Hi, my name is Melanie Koshot, and I am the founder of Blue Diamond. I am a coach, trainer, and facilitator, and I love supporting my clients. Now, I get the best results from people when they are open to change, willing to invest in themselves, and ready to do the work. But don't just take my word for it. I want to share what some of my clients have to say.
Martin Cordy, Director of Finance for Together for Short Lives, charity lobbying for equitable palliative care for children in the UK. My career had got to a point where it had stagnated. I felt like I didn't really have the skills or the tools to go to the next level. I also had that question of, was I even capable of going to the next level? Found that incredibly frustrating because I looked around me and I could see peers and others doing well, but I wasn't sure of how to reach out and go for those next roles myself. I also struggled quite a lot with that imposter syndrome in terms of, well, why should I be able to go further? Again, thinking I had the skills, but not knowing how to get there. I never knew quite where to turn. You always read those sorts of self-help books and those best bits of blog information that you can access online, but it never really seemed to fit for me. It never really seemed to tick the right boxes or make any sense in terms of how do I apply that. It was also for me having a need to have someone there to really coach me through was what I was looking for. Trying to do it by myself was incredibly difficult, trying to fit that in around the day job. And actually, I found it frustrating that I wasn't making the progress that I needed to. I decided to look for a coach to help me through this because I felt by having someone there at the other end of a screen or at the end of a phone would hold me accountable for actually delivering on some of these actions. But furthermore, by employing someone who was trained, had sector experience, and had real life skills and knowledge to bring to my existing portfolio, and someone who could understand me, I felt that we could maybe help unlock some of the barriers, give me some tools and some skills to help me to progress to the next level. When I looked specifically at Melanie's website, it talked a lot about her enthusiasm for the profession. Melanie's worked as a finance professional for many years prior to going into this area of coaching. And her website spoke to me in a way that other coaches didn't. It talked about removing those barriers around feeling like an imposter. It talked about enabling people to reach their full potential. And so for me, that sparked enough of an interest to then want to have an initial session with Melanie and really explore what the current barriers are that I'm facing, or I was facing at the time rather, understand a bit about how Melanie worked. And during that session, Melanie came across as friendly and approachable, but incredibly knowledgeable and passionate. And it was that that drove me to work with Melanie. It's an incredible pleasure and honor to work with Melanie. She takes time up front to understand what motivates you. And that's really important. And that was the first light bulb moment for me. We spent a good session really understanding what motivated me using a motivational maps tool. And it's very different from all of your other profiling apps. It really gets under the skin of who you are and what motivates you. And by understanding which of those qualities you are driven by helps you understand which of the bits you need to look for in a new role, the bits that excite you in life. And therefore, the bits that when you're looking for that job, looking for that spark, it helps you to put together a really strong and robust application for either an internal or an external promotion. The other thing about Melanie for me is that she's had a lot of experience within the sector, so she understands the pressures that we're all working into. Furthermore, I think Melanie gets it on a personal level. She brings in a lot of knowledge, a lot of analogy, breaks down challenges into a different way of thinking about things. She's very empathetic and listens a lot, but also provides really great, really concise, focused challenge where necessary in terms of what's this that's the problem? How are you going to address the problem? I'm now in my third directorship role. I've exceeded my own expectations, which is great. I feel a lot more confident and comfortable in myself. Previously, I used to get very anxious when going to board meetings and audit committee meetings. I'd feel worried about being found out. I feel worried about and anxious about people asking me questions. Whereas now I've got the confidence to go into those rooms, knowing that I have the information, knowing that if they ask me a question and I don't know, I can go back to them, which sounds really basic. But when you feel that you don't belong, that can be one of the biggest challenges. It's given me the confidence to grow and to go for those director level roles. It's also given me the opportunity and skills and knowledge to really go for roles that ordinarily I wouldn't have chosen to go for because of the challenges within those. And that's given me a greater sense of fulfillment within my career as well. There's nothing better than seeing a challenge through from start to finish, and having the skills and self belief to go for those challenges has been really good. The other thing that working with Melanie's done for me is it's given me someone that I can continue to go back to with those challenges. And it's a working relationship that I really cherish. And knowing that Melanie's part of my virtual team is really helpful and really important to me. I would definitely recommend working with Melanie. She's a very passionate human being in terms of her dedication to her clients. She is empathetic. She understands the business. But most of all, she's committed to helping you get the most you can out of your career. Everyone does development courses throughout their career, and you go away from them inspired, and you maybe take up 5 or 10% of what they've told you. By having a dedicated coach, it's better than that. It's like going on those courses, but having that tailored, focused time. Someone who really understands you, who really understands the challenges you're facing, and can tailor the advice and the solutions and help you get to those solutions really based on the circumstances that you're facing. That is an absolute benefit for any professional within their career. And it really enables you to get the best out of your time and help you to succeed in life. Starting a journey of career development and enlightenment is a big step, but it's one that you won't regret. Your career will bloom and blossom, and you'll become a better, more rounded professional as a result. You'll understand what motivates you, and that will help you to succeed.